Welcome back to the Gold Creek Extended Cut podcast.
Come on.
Where we dive a little bit deeper into the weekend message.
Come on.
It's going to be good. Here with back. You're back. You were gone last week.
Gone last week. Shaddai was sitting here.
Pastor Shaddai was
Come
here.
on.
Yeah.
The
Deep,
man.
rich content.
A legend. Some might say.
Legend.
Dude. We got news today, though. Big news today.
We do. We do have some news.
We got a guest in the house. He's always here, but he's changed.
Oh, same guy. New
different
letters.
title. Nick Wallstead, officially a doctor today.
Officially.
Yeah.
I did. I wrapped up. Dude, I crammed a 3-ish year. It usually takes me about 3-4 years. Crammed it into 7.
Nice. Dude, nice. Productive. A productive 7
but
years.
Done. Yeah. Did my final presentation. Let's close the chapter.
Come on. Flying out.
Out.
You got to wear all the robes.
I get to wear a nice robe. The university that I attended, it's called Southeastern University. It's in Florida.
Come on.
So I think it's supposed to be in the 70s. That should be nice under a nice heavy robe.
Nice.
A couple hours.
Dude, send me a little selfie, dude. Send me a little. What's up,
bro,
dude? Shouts out to your boy, bro. All right.
Yeah. So got that over with. Thanks, Mike. I knew we were going to do that. Oh, we got to start the timer. Start the timer. What do we say? 15 minutes, 36 seconds? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's
not
not
the price tag on the back.
Yeah, well, dude, we might return
This
it.
is from Hobby Lobby.
We might return it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep you posted.
$10.
We started a new series.
Come on. POV Christmas, baby.
POV Christmas. Who are we talking about? We talked about this week. We talked
Herod
and the Magi.
Come on.
You said before we started filming, I'm basically a Magi now.
Yes, because he's a smart guy.
Yeah. Scholar.
Some might say scholar.
Astrologer. I'm not. What's the bad one? Yeah.
Isn't it an astrologist and an astronomer? Or did you combine those? Or is an astronomer?
Isn't astrology a thing?
Yeah, but I feel like you combined those two.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't an couldn't you have an astrologist? What did I say? What did I say?
I don't remember now.
Oh, I said astrologer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a thing. I don't think that's a word.
Yeah.
It should be though. That's
flows. What your degree was in. It was great.
Exactly. Grammar. Herod and the Magi. And then we're doing the shepherds. And then the last week, I think we're doing Zechariah and Elizabeth.
Neither of us are preaching it. This is
exactly.
why we don't know.
That one came to us. So Herod and the Magi.
Come on.
Interesting duo.
Yeah, we're talking about powerful people.
Uh-huh.
What was the take on in the room? How do you feel like people...
Yeah, man, I think in the room, I think that when we talk about people who... Like, I do feel like we try to make room, like a lot of, as we're preaching, you're trying to make room for the deficiencies in people. I think everybody, so like you might have it together on the outside,
for sure,
but like you don't on the inside. And that's, like the internal spiritual condition could be like bankrupt no matter how good it looks on the outside, blah, blah, blah.
We're all in that spectrum at some point.
But I feel like it was like maybe a little bit fun and different to like talk to like, hey, and you're not a loser.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's, obviously, like I read this week, I talked about this. Oh, I had a little flip up where I was like,
you cussed?
No, I didn't swear. But it was like, Seattle has the highest college degrees in the country. Yeah. And I meant to say 70% of people have a bachelor's degree, but I said 70 people. And then I said, no, that would be Missouri. And then everybody dug that. People were no dig on my Missouri friends.
Yeah, but just a little bit.
Well, Alabama would be more true. Missouri is better educated, but so
I thought when you told me this on the phone, we were talking about this on Sunday afternoon.
I was excited about it.
I thought you were about to say, oh, that's Monroe. And then I was like, this guy
that would have been
throwing jabs at Monroe.
No, I know, dude. I had a good, like over the summer, I had a good Monroe joke
You and James Powell. James Powell, every time he gets out here, he throws a jab on Monroe.
It's nice.
Like, bro,
it's nice to punch at Monroe a little bit.
You've never been there, dog. He would hate it.
So yeah, so I think it was nice to like talk through like Jesus comes for winners too.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
how about you?
Yeah, I just felt like
Monroe.
Yeah, I just felt like it was a fun angle.
Yeah.
I'm liking the way that we're approaching this series. I feel like even a POV Christmas series, like everybody touches Mary and Joseph. You know what I mean? And
Hope
like,
in the waiting.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah.
I've never been to church,
Which
and
is
I've heard
true.
that. Yeah. But I just feel like the angle we're taking is kind of fun.
Yeah.
That we are like, what can we learn from what's going on in the text?
These
here?
randos.
Yeah, it's just like people, like so many of the things, like even the outline that we went through, I felt like the verses are just like easy to skip over passages, but to dig into what's going on there is just.
What did you talk about with Herod?
I talked about Herod just in the terms of, what did I talk about? Oh, I was talking about him and how he had like received the title King of the Jews. But then the scripture says like this baby born King of the Jews we've come to worship, and just like what might have been going on in his dynamic of like pride, power, all those sort of things. Like this baby born with this right of King of the Jews.
Interesting.
And I just kind of played that out on like, I feel like sometimes we struggle with going all in on this Jesus thing because we're afraid of what it might take from us. That we're no longer in power of our lives. We're no longer like, it does take we got to submit. And so I kind of leaned in that direction of just going.
Who's Herod today? What's modern day? Where does Herod show up in your life?
For me personally?
Yeah. Or like your father-in-law. No, I'm just kidding. We love you, Rod.
Stupid. Dude, I don't know. I feel like it's just that it's that battle constantly where I want to be in control of what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
I want to call the shots. I want to make the decisions. I want to be in charge, whether that's at home, at work, in my personal life, where God might be calling me to do something, and I'm like, I don't know if I want it. This is tough.
Yeah. Interesting.
And just like the laying down of every area of my life, I feel like that's where I see it pop up in my.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because Herod is on borrowed authority.
Yes.
He's not an actual king.
For sure.
There is, Caesar is the emperor, and so Caesar kind of puts him in charge. And so, he's got to work to keep control because he's not actually.
Yep.
He shouldn't be not that he shouldn't be the king. I don't know about that, but like he's a fake king.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's an interesting, as I was doing the message, it was like, oh yeah, that's like out of my life. Sure. I try to be the king, but I'm a fake king.
Yeah.
And then there's a real king who's born.
For sure.
And then he's like, what a big threat. It brings him back to reality for a second.
For sure.
So he tries to kill him. It's like, so I got to kill the baby.
But then we didn't go over those passages. We went over the ones prior where he was saying, what did he say?
He says,
he's like, hey, go
tell me
so I can go worship.
Right.
And how did you approach that?
Basically I named out loud that I was about to do some eisegesis. I didn't say it that way.
Got it.
I was like, yeah, he had this whole scheme, blah, blah, blah. But if we just take the text at face value, he wanted a conditional surrender.
Got it.
He was like, I'll go worship if it fits into my life and my schedule.
Got it. I kind of did the same thing.
Okay.
The angle I took was
we both interpreted scripture.
He tried to use the religious practice as a license to get what he wanted. So he's like, hey, do the thing so I can go worship. But in reality, it's a means to my own end. So then I said, where do we do that? And then said, it's the prayer that's like, God, if I see you do this, then I'll.
Yeah. The sword with the Crusaders.
Yes.
If people, Whereas the Magi, when they get to the star, which even there's so much there, I'm like, was the star pointing directly to something? Because like, what would one star point to in the sky?
Yeah, it's like trying to find the end of the rainbow.
Yeah,
like,
so who knows? Neither here nor there.
Yeah, you're
I'm not an astrologer. Gee, dude. But it says when they get there, then they're just like, oh, this dude's like, they give him all the gifts. Like, that's it. Sure. I don't need to know anymore.
For sure.
But, okay, so we talked about that. Herod the Magi. What did you talk about? Where did you say the Magi were from?
I didn't talk about it too much.
It didn't mess with it?
Nah.
Didn't
Nah.
Monroe, dude.
Dude, they're from Monroe. They're coming from the.
They're from the
They're
east.
from the east. They're from
East
Gold Bar,
River
dude.
Valley, dude.
Gold Bar coming in Monroe.
Yeah, I thought that was like an interesting. That's just fun fodder, in my opinion.
Got it.
Because when we were doing the prep, I think Eric was like, I hadn't heard the perspective before. He had the thought, or he had heard that they could have been from Daniel's astrology star school.
Yes.
In the, what would that be? The Babylonian Empire, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
And so they could have been from there. They could have been from Persia. Like I referenced this book that talks about a Vatican document from the 8th century that references a 2nd century. So that like the book I read talks about a document from the 8th century that references a 2nd century document. So they don't know where the 2nd century one is.
Yep.
But basically the 2nd century document connects the Magi to a Chinese empire.
Interesting.
Which could be kind of interesting.
Interesting.
But I was kind of saying it's interesting that like, I don't know if this would be an interesting study. Smarter people than us, certainly than you, would be able to...
Just like a rude, this is my life. This is what working closely
Here.
with Nick Walsh. That's great.
Just
It's
little
so
pot
funny.
shots here and there. No, but it would be interesting, like global population distribution, how much of the earth was concentrated or historically between west and east, and even what does that mean?
Got it.
Like, I don't know any of that stuff, but it's interesting now because in quote unquote the East, if we would say that incorporates Asia, India, Oceania, all of that, like 2/3 of the Earth's population, a huge amount of people today, 5-6 billion.
Yep.
And however, it's just like this little footnote in the story, but it's interesting that like if we don't read read the scripture just from a Western worldview, we're like, oh, like obviously the message of Jesus was going to go to a global population center.
Yeah.
Just like interesting, like it's an interesting progression. Because I think sometimes it's easy to be like, oh yeah, we got to take the message of Jesus to the East. Like, sure, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's been there.
Also started over there,
Yeah.
at least from us.
At least from geographically speaking, right?
Depending on which way you want to go.
But it's interesting that like the Magi they didn't stay where they were. It wasn't just like stay here and serve Jesus. It was like take this back.
Yeah.
So what were they going to take back?
What do you think they were thinking in that moment when they had that dream? Like, yo, go back. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were receiving a missiological assignment.
Okay.
I think they were receiving, if you're in Matthew's gospel, a 27 chapter early Great Commission.
Okay.
Go back. Because what were they? They wouldn't go back. Like, what did you learn on the trip? Oh, we saw the Son of God.
For sure.
Like in human form. So we don't know. Like maybe there were pockets of early Christianity that began to.
Okay.
They couldn't have had the whole message, right? Because they wouldn't have understood
For sure.
Jesus's death and resurrection, but yet they had there was a connection to it.
Got it. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I played around this idea of like God could have asked or could have said anything in the dream. Could
Okay.
have communicated anything to them.
Yeah.
Played with this idea of like if they're men of means and influence, God could have been like, hey, stick around, fund this thing.
Yeah.
Like he could have done all these other things, but he chose to do this. And I just kind of played on this idea of like sometimes we think things are the direction God wants us to go, and then it's different.
Interesting.
Because I feel, dude, as I was reading it and I was studying it, and then I was just like kind of praying through like how they responded to it in comparison to Herod. I imagine they wanted to stick around.
That's what I think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
if they
sure.
brought the gifts and then like they bow at his feet and they realize like,
Yeah,
dude,
they're-
there's so
they're-
much. Like I bet you they wanted to stick around,
Yeah. But
but obviously
no.
they didn't.
Gotta
God
go.
God had something different.
God had something different.
Obviously to protect them in context. To
Yeah,
keep reading,
yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
Have you ever heard too? Like I've heard only one time from not really credible sources, but
Most of the sources.
most of my
goes
sources.
to.
No, this will make sense to the tribe I'm talking about. So like there are some schools that are not schools, but schools of thought that would say that actually Jesus was super rich. Ready?
I've heard this
You've
bit.
heard this before?
I've heard this bit. I do.
Because the gold franc, there was like a trust fund. They gave these gifts to Jesus, but he would have got them when he turned 30.
Got it.
So this is how he like funded his ministry. That obviously breaks down because it says when Jesus is hungry, he has to go pick fruit from the trees.
Yeah.
So there's some thing in there that would, not to say you can pick fruit if you're rich, I
Dude,
guess.
fresh fruit off of a tree. Dude.
Nothing better.
It's the facts.
Especially in the summer.
Dude, I get tempted every time we go over to Chelan to Rod and Debbie's. Like, there's all the apple orchards.
Sure. Which would be stealing.
You
wouldn't go into a bank and pull out somebody's gold bar.
Well, if it was sitting there, I mean, dude, I'd have to bring it before the Lord, dude.
You'd have to consider
I'd tithe on it, dude.
Well, all right, Mike. You know what?
I'm just saying I've never done it, but I've thought about it.
Yeah,
I'm hungry right now. That apple looks nice.
Yeah, but that is interesting. I mean, I wonder what the financial impact, like, did that fuel the flight to Egypt?
I don't know, dude.
That's an interesting thought.
And did you try to figure out, or did you study at all what that stuff was worth?
No, because we don't know the amounts.
Is it the same when it's communicated in the Gospels?
I think in Matthew and Luke.
There's never a measurement
there's never
or anything?
X amount of frankincense. No.
Got it. That would be an interesting
There's
thing.
another interesting, just on that note, I was studying, this is unrelated, but you know when Mary, I forget which Mary, there's so many Marys. There's Mary, Jesus' mom, Mary Magdalene, and then I think John's gospel is like, and the other Mary.
Yeah. It's like,
And we got a bonus.
Pick a new name.
Yeah. But a Mary in the Bible, I'm pretty sure it's her or it's just the woman, but breaks it says a pint of pure nard. Okay. And so I was looking that up, and is interesting. Nard is a really rare plant that grew kind of high in the Himalayas in India or Nepal. So this would have arrived with her. That's why it was so expensive.
Interesting.
It would have been a year, so $40,000, something like that, right? So that's why like all the trade routes, all that. But then I read this one thing that was like maybe she had access to the gift the wise men brought.
Interesting.
Right? So the myrrh would have been that kind of embalming, like a spice.
Interesting.
Right? So I'm like, But
there we go.
This is the thing. People love to like
try to figure it out.
Yeah, they want the dead answer. Sometimes there are none.
Yeah,
and why is that important?
I don't know.
It's
crazy. Dude, going in what you got going for Christmas, bro?
Dude, one, I'm Christmas Eve services.
Well, yeah, dude.
So
about in your life,
dude,
bro.
Well, in my life, that kind of is.
What do you do on Christmas morning, dude?
Nothing. Drink eggnog and recover from. I just chill. We open presents.
Got it.
What do you guys do?
Dude, we tell everybody to get away from us.
See, that's what I'm saying.
We do the morning with our fam, just like our kids, and then we go to like my parents or Hannah's.
Dude, exactly.
We just chill out.
Just post up.
Yeah, dude. Are you gonna do a big social push on your becoming a doctor? Like a big, I'm a doctor now.
You probably once again brought it up in the same episode, so this will be the limit.
Got it.
This will be the extent. These are the clips that aren't going to get posted.
Oh, I have control of that account.
You do. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot about that,
dude. It's going, dude. Oh man, good stuff.
Good stuff.
That was fun.
It's good.
Chill one.
Thanks for. You want to do it? You do the end.
Where am I looking? What am I doing?
Thanks for checking it out.
Oh, dude. Thanks for checking out the GC Extended Cut podcast. We love you. Later.
Bye.